Welcome to my laboratory. I'll go station by station. This is my great-grandfather's microscope and my workstation with the last 110 coding experiments all laid out in a nice orderly book, and then I can compare it to the lot sheet to find out exactly what I did so I can go back. We have dry eraser board that's covering shelves so that my test apparatuses are behind those, and I just slide it open. I also have these cabinets covered with dry eraser board so that anytime I have a thought I can just run over to one and jot it down, and the same with these. That way I have lots of space to write down ideas. This is my lab bench. It's simply a kitchen counter that I installed from Home Depot, and my original hood, which you can see is a stove hood built in a fireproof area. I used granite as a floor and then insulated fire brick all the way around the outside. That way if I have grazing to do, I can do it in this space. And this is ventilated from a ventilation fan that's out in the back, so I don't have to hear the hum of the motor. This is the laboratory computer. Her name is Egret, and it's the only Windows machine in our facility. We're all Mac otherwise, but many of the machines will only run on XP, so that's what I'm using. Of course, the all-important iPhone, so I have some music while I'm working. This is a test board that has 144 positions, and it's read with a A to D converter, which is a little too dark to see right there, but it's very nice and multiplexed up. I have more than enough testing sites. Down below here are the electronics, which includes a pair of Sorensen 50 amp power supplies, my Solitron, which is on either side of the Windows machine computer. I have a nice sink, which of course every lab has to have. And this is the new edition that only went in a few weeks ago, and it's a very nice ventilation hood. Now this is important for more than one reason. Again, I have a surface I can write on. I'll never have too many surfaces to write on. So I have my next experiment. That's a circuit I'm going to use for an infrared detector. And in here I have my plating baths. And the plating baths are all sitting here ready and monitoring the temperature. But now when I get to the stage of making great amounts of hydrogen, I have a good safe place to ventilate it. I also have a fireproof compartment for any flammables, and I also put in there acids and strong bases. This side has the chemicals that are much more benign. Now for the hood, I also have many electronic machines. My oscilloscope, this is a function generator which I feed into a little homemade pulse width modulator so that I can then take the power from my power supply and pulse width it and then send it over to the experiment in the hood. This is a thermal regulator that's just built from an Omega controller. And these two banana plugs are for two lower amperage power supplies. It's a 5 amp and a 12 amp power supply, which actually are the ones you see right here. And then one of the Sorensens connects to this, which is a 50 amp power supply, which someday I'll be using a lot. And I have two ovens. One of them is a high temperature oven. You can actually fire ceramics in there, and then a low temperature that can only go up to about 500 centigrade, which is pretty warm too, but this one can go up to 2000 Fahrenheit. And then we're back to the workstation, and this is a little compression mill that I use for making gas electrodes. I've made alkaline system and PEMs just on the simple little jeweler's mill. This is a TGA, thermogravimetric analyzer, and sharing through the pot, and inside are 8 pencil heaters that are then controlled by, you can see where the power comes in, and that Omega controller on the other side of the room that I showed you is what controls it. And then there's a glass rod which stands on the balance. This glass rod will stand on the balance in the middle of the device. I put my sample in the little basket there, and as the temperature is ramped from room temperature up to 700 centigrade, I watch the weight change, and it's all communicating to egret via RS-232 cables. And this is an example of the resulting data. And from this I can tell where any catalytic mixture that I'm making will ignite, so I know how hot I can dry something without endangering the experiment. And that is my lab.